everybody. My name is Tom MTGRadio, and I have an important message to give to you. Now, I have a question. When you're picking one of the new Commander 2016 products, which one should you choose? Are you going to pick Saskia the Unyielding, an incredibly boring commander that just points at people and asks them to die? No, that's dumb. Second question, are you going to pick another commander who is just so singularly minded that all they do is proliferate all the time, like Atraxia, Praetor's Voice? No, also dumb. Third question, are you then going to pick a very boringly made Grixis, basically null green artifact-based commander like Breya Ethereum Shaper? Also incredibly incorrect. Let's not even go there. Not picking that one. And the final question is, are you going to pick a commander who is so boring that even in their own picture they're yawning, like Yidris, I wish I was Idris Elba, Maelstrom Wielder? No, because that would also be dumb. The commander you want to pick is the commander that actually affords multiple options in how to actually play the deck. You want Kynaios and Tiro of Meletis. Not only were they already featured in a card previously that everyone already loved, because who doesn't like 06 defenders, this card allows a bunch of different strategies that I'll outline in my article coming up in a bit. Not only can you play Group Hug if you're a crazy Group Hug player, but you get to play Group Slug, you get to play Landfall, you get to play very aggressive decks featuring stuff like Acidic Soil. The possibilities are endless, and that's just because the color combination is perfect, and also because the commanders themselves are perfect. So if there's one thing you want to vote for when it comes to this Commander season, vote with your money, vote with the product, vote with a commander that isn't boring, and vote for the major men of Meletis. And it's the obvious choice.
Heyo, I'm John Capora.
And I'm his boss.
Nice. And today what we're going to do is we're kicking off this series we've got going with all the Commander 2016 precons, and we are kicking it off with a guest spot. Who we got writing for us?
We've got Tom Delia. He's
nice.
One of the original Community Cup members, streams Commander. Really, really awesome guy. I love how he looks at Commander, tackles the format, and he kind of helped us out to kind of take a look at one of the new Commanders coming this Friday.
Yeah. So the article is in the description. You can check that out, but he wrote about Kynaios and Tiro of Meletis. I think I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah, the Lovers Meletis.
Great. The Lovers Meletis. Perfect. So they are null black. So that four-color identity, we've got white, blue, green, red. What kind of game plan is usually associated with that four-color identity?
Well, the way the way that color's been handled in the past, and it's kind of been up in the air. That's why Wizards did these decks. But the way they handled this is basically, they're all the colors that care about other people too.
Oh,
so
sure.
This is kind of like the super Group Hug set of colors. So if you played like with a Feldergriff deck before, and you've seen someone with a Feldergriff deck giving opponents saplings or card draws, things like that, it's like that, but just kind of like supercharged to the next level.
Awesome. So they're kind of Group Hug. It's a Group Hug kind of deal, but they're not quite symmetrical. Not everyone's getting the same bonus, and that starts with our Lovers Meletis, right?
Yes. So at the end of your turn, you get the draw card. That's great. Everyone loves extra cards. Then your opponents get to do stuff. So they can play a land from their hand.
Or they can draw a card, right?
Well, if they don't play a land, then they may draw a card.
Okay.
So it's one of those things where if, you want everyone to have extra lands in play or have extra cards, hug around, everyone gets a little group action. That's what they're going to do for you.
Sure. So Tom calls this out in his article, and I think this is an awesome combo with our Lovers Meletis burgeoning.
Yeah, so it's a green enchantment for 1 green mana, recently reprinted in Conspiracy Take the Crown. Yep. Just sits out there, and every time an opponent plays a land or has a land under the battlefield under control, you get to do that too.
That seems ridiculous. And it goes great with another one of these cards that, on its face looks symmetrical, but it's not quite symmetrical. I'm talking about Ankh of Mishra.
Yeah, so Ankh of Mishra turns basically even basic lands into shock lands you have to pay for.
Yes.
You just take damage putting a land. Yeah. This is one of those ways to stymie ramp decks. So, for example, Secure Tribe Elder and other effects like that just dump lands onto the battlefield. So now with Ankh of Mishra out, your opponents have a choice between they get to ramp and take 2 damage or draw a card. Which,
sometimes you need to ramp, right? So that kind of follows in the fine tradition of cards that are on their face symmetrical, but not quite, like Balance, right?
Yeah, if you're playing Balance in your deck, you're planning on it. And that's what gives the Group Hug deck the advantage. You know these effects are coming, so you add in some things that let you take advantage of that.
Sure. First one that does a great job of kind of taking advantage of the Group Hug environment is Envelope Garden.
Yeah, so I like Anvil of Garden and kind of like colorless effects for these 4-color decks because it's easy to cast. Everyone gets to draw an extra card during their draw step.
Definitely.
But then they also have to discard a card.
Ooh.
So it's a little bit of card selection. Obviously Reanimator decks love that, and we're not playing black, so we don't care. But we know that with that extra card selection, we're going to be able to find the things that let us benefit more from all this group hug stuff faster, and we give our opponents even harder choices because they're going to be discarding more cards with all the extra rows we're giving them as they go.
So, kind of piggybacking on this idea, we've got Chasm Skulker as another card to throw in this deck.
Yeah, so Chasm Skulker is just one of those good cards. If you're going to draw a bunch of cards, great. You're going to have a giant squid monster thing. But, the Lovers Meletis, they give you that extra draw every turn.
Oh, totally.
You start adding that up with something like Anvil of Garden and some other effects that give everybody extra card draws, including yourself. Your squid's going to get out of hand real quick.
So a card that generally in Commander has a really high ceiling and a really high floor that I want to talk about in kind of when someone's going group hug is Strionic Resonator.
Yeah, again, another one of those artifact cards. It's going to be easy to cast in a 4-color deck. Doubling your triggered abilities is a little gross.
Seems crazy.
And you get to choose which one, right? So you've got multiple things that everyone's going to trigger off of and give them stuff. You can choose the one that benefits you the most to double up on.
Okay, well, that is going to do it for this edition, but, keep tuning in next week because we're going to be teasing all these episodes, and we're really excited to dig into these Commander decks. It looks sweet.
Yeah, tomorrow, Wednesday, every day this week, new Commander we'll be looking at. And of course, we'll have new videos and articles every day this week.
Heyo. Okay, so when you're on magic.tcgplayer.com, what you can do is you can check out our other articles. We've got pros writing about Magic every day. They're all great. We've got a buy list, so you can sell us your cards and we give you money for them, so you can buy more cards on magic.tcgplayer.com. It's all great. But for now, I am signing off. I'm John.
And I'm his boss.
Goodbye, Internet.
We are ready.
Heyo, I'm John Kapora.
Wow, that was really fast.
Sorry.